Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, good evening, race fans, and welcome. And I tell you what, tonight we come to a close here as we bring about the Sim500 Nemesis Lab K&N series here tonight. Going to be a good one here as include right thing here, folks. But I tell you what, Jeff. What see here tonight as the championship, obviously crowning the champ, but we kind of knew who that was going to be last week. I definitely don't want to give it to anybody, but obviously EJ, he pretty much just has to start tonight.
You are absolutely right, and EJ should be in here. Oh yeah, EJ is in here. Put down a good time in practice. He's second on the board right now, so he is looking quick. I think he wants to go out and show that he deserves to be up there at the top. And is currently sitting second on the board, 0.02 of a second off of our leader, Chad Coleman, in qualifying. But they've still got 3 minutes left.
Yes, they do, and Like you just said, 3 minutes left here. We're getting set to go green flag here shortly with qualifying underway. All right, folks, I tell you what, it's going to be a good one here. Like I said, we got last race of the Winter Series here for the K&N. And it has been a very, very good series, very good race. Like I said, pretty much EJ O'Rourke, he just starts tonight. Kind of want he could start the part and be the champ pretty much. So our biggest cues is going to be looking at what's going to happen for the second place guys there. You know, I think Anthony, is he going to be able to, or excuse me, Adam, is he going to be able to hang on a second there? And who's going to win this race? Who's going to cap it off here tonight? I mean, if you're EJ, let me ask this, Jeff. Knowing you're pretty much locked in there to be the champ, do you just go out here tonight and run it all out and try to win it?
If I'm EJ, my goal tonight here is to win. So absolutely, I'm going to go out there, leave nothing on the line. EJ O'Rourke with a 30.781. He is currently third on the board with just a minute and a half left in qualifying. So he looks quick. I'm sure he's going to go out and give it everything he has to try and win this race to show why he's the champion.
Absolutely. So it's definitely going to be one of those good ones like you just said. Everybody out here getting geared up. Tonight, qualifying, like you said, underway. Guys, look like Sean Castro's the man on point right now, and Anthony Calatoni. And EJ right there third, like you just said it, man. He's up there to third. Hey, looks like he might just go all out here tonight.
That's what I would do if I were him. I think he's going to have a good night. He can go out there, and now he can just go out and afford to have some fun. He's not worried about points. He's not worried about anything except winning this race. It's just going to be a fun night for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. So let's get set here to go green flag racing here tonight, folks. Man, I tell you, it's been a good one. Now, we're kicking off the truck series here in another couple weeks. April the 8th. Stay tuned for that. Kick-Ass Beef Turkey truck series here at the Sim500 will kick off on Wednesday nights. Excuse me, I had a sneeze there, folks. Sorry about it. So that one will be interesting to see. Got a lot of great prizes going to be involved with it there. So definitely tune into that the next couple weeks. But this Nemesis Lab K&N series has been a very, very good one. Click on the doggone thing on the website. Go to Sim500, folks, to find out all the info on it here. Try to get work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. All right. Get them up here tonight because these guys, man, are getting set. Man on pole here. Like I said, Sean Castro putting it out front. Got that Anthony DeBarro. He tried, but he's going to start it up in second. At least going to maybe try to win it out here. Chad Cole starting third. Anthony Calatoni up to fourth. EJ O'Rourke there. We talked about it. Sitting in fifth. Brian Macklin sixth. Kevin Brown starting in seventh. Chad Coleman there in eighth. Robert Gillenwater in ninth. And Matt Arthur rounds out the top 10s. Look through it here. I just can't say enough of some of the races we've seen this season. They've been wild.
You're absolutely right. Wild is an understatement for some of the finishes we've seen. It's just been absolutely insane how hard these guys are racing, how much they're leaving, how much they're not leaving out on the track. Everything gets settled out there, and those guys are racing hard. Nobody gives anyone a free pass. Everyone's racing for every position. It's really incredible to see.
Yes, it is. So, Brian Macklin put it in victory lane last week. This right here, the last race of the series here for us. Bring up the standings real quick, so we're gridding them up here before they get started. EJ O'Rourke right now, obviously with 162 points. He pretty much just start the race and be there, but he's going to look to try to win it here. So, again, don't ever like saying, oh, yeah, there's your champion before we into the race and crown it. But, folks, pretty much it's all EJ here tonight. But the second place, Tommy Ryan jumps into second, moves up there. Anthony DeBarro drops to third. There's going to be a tight battle there. Chad Coleman is in that mix also. along with Nick Silver. So there could be some really, really jumping spaces here between second, maybe all the way back. I'm going to say at about fourth, fifth or so. Maybe even sixth. So I'll have to see how mathematically that can work out with the field. And Jeff, I'm going to have to say something. I've said this time and time again with the Sim 500. We are the last race of the season here in the K&N Series, in the Winter Series. And a race that really, guys know that they're not going to win a championship. Pretty much like we just said, EJ's got it wrapped. And he pretty much had it wrapped coming out of last race. We still got like 30-some cars here tonight. That to me just is impressive.
It is. It shows that these guys are dedicated to the league. They're dedicated to coming out here every Wednesday night and racing their hearts out. There's some leagues that struggle to even get 50% attendance, but to get this many people in every single week, we never felt like there weren't enough cars out there, not even once. Probably the lowest car count I saw was like 30. So we've got plenty of cars out there. It's an awesome thing to see. Nick Cohan out there starting second, Sean Castro in first, though. EJ O'Rourke is going to take the green flag in fifth place, and 100 laps around here, Atlanta Motorspeedway. It's not going to be as long of a race as we're used to seeing here. These races go by pretty quickly, but the tire fall off for Atlanta is absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal.
And especially with this car here, we've seen it time and time again. It's a pace cars in green flag, and we're racing. One of the two changes we've seen over the series here, obviously the tire model, came into factor early on at the start of the season, but the new damage model's been a kind of a wow factor. It's been fun to watch through and through here. As everybody, like you said, tire wear will be the big issue at this track. You fall off so very quickly early on. I think if you don't get what you can get early on, it's going to be tough to pass later.
You're right. This track is a very, very difficult track on the old tire model. On the new one, it's just going to be brutal. You really have to be careful here and not overdrive your stuff. We see Nick Cohan at the front there going up to the top. I don't know why I say Nick Cohan. I'm sorry. It's Anthony DeBarro. I'm sitting there going, wow, did Nick Cohan switch to 27? No, he didn't. Anthony DeBarro is out front. Apologies for that. Nick Cohan is further back in the field. Nick Cohan's not here. Well, the spirit of Nick Cohan lives on, currently riding around in first place. Apologies for that. Anthony DeBarro leads the way around.
Yeah, right there. You're right. And Anthony, he's definitely won, a couple races here, and actually won 3 times in the series here. So, won a lot, but again, just like that, with him winning a lot, and so is Brian Macklin, who is sitting 10th in the points right now. Not always the guy who wins a lot that's going to win the championship. It's consistency. And this series, with them using the old style cup points, it definitely plays more into consistency than it does anything. There's no chase here, so there we go. And Nick out in the chat says, I'm winning. Well, Nick, don't you got to be on the track to win?
Maybe not. The spirit of him is currently leading the way. Sean Castle holding off second place. A hard charging 17 car piloted by none other, as I try and get my timing and scoring bits, by Chad Cole. I wanted to make sure it wasn't Chad Coleman, because we have a Chad Cole, a Chad Coleman. Chad Coleman is back in 9th place, so both the Chads are in the top 10.
And doing quite well right now, like you said. Little Nick, he was out there, he said, I'm winning. Yeah, he had never seen a car win and not be on the track. That's awesome. That'd be the first for everything. So what's up? Yeah, Jeff is true, Nick. We said it. There you go. Well, right now, Anthony DeBarro is the man out front holding it up. Anthony Calatoni there 4th, Chad Cole 3rd, Sean Castro 2nd. EJ, remember, he's right there in 5th. And we'll talk more about the championship on his end as the race goes on. Right now, we concentrate more on, can he pull this thing off? Can he win it tonight? I mean, can he put it in victory lane and cap that thing off?
That will be the million-dollar question. We are 94 laps away from discovering about 30 seconds a lap around this place. That's going to slow way down. We're going to see tire fall off in the seconds, not the tenths, but full seconds over the course of an entire run. I think anytime you get the chance to come down and pit, we're going to see it. These cars get very, very loose off of turn 4, especially over a long run, so that's what these drivers are gearing up for. I think if we see a wreck and it's just someone spinning out, it's going to be off of turn 4 because of how much these tires wear out. That's just my expectation.
Right now, a guy on the move, watching him right here.
Caution is out.
Caution is out, you're right. I was just going to say, a guy on the move there, Justin Fuller up, and it looks like, uh-oh. Guess what?
Oh, no.
Our
It was the
favorite
Peeps car.
Yep, our favorite car out here. I can see what exactly happened to it.
Oh, he just hit the wall again. Trying to get the car fired back up. It just spun around on him, and he hit the inside wall. So
Well, let's
let's
come on a replay here and see it. Looks like he got checked up and he got a little help from behind. Yeah, maybe somebody want to take a bite out of it. But yeah, you can see the car just not wanting to go straight there. Ouch.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to do in these cars, especially where you just get on the gas even a little bit, trying to get straightened back out, and it just spins itself around. It's, not a show of bad driving. It's just these cars, it happens in them sometimes.
Well, he's got a slick Peeps car out there.
Now
Pit
we're
stop.
going to see all the leaders come down pit road. I don't anticipate anyone staying out. I don't really anticipate 2 tires even. I think everyone's going to come down, take 4. It's only 10 laps, but there's a big difference here in how the car drives. From lap 2, a 30.9, they were already running 31.1s by lap 7. And that's quite a big fall off. 2 tenths in 7 laps. That really says a lot about how much these tires get worn. Anthony DeBarro is going to take 4 tires, left side up in the air, left side drops back down. He takes off. The 20 car takes 2, and he's going to be the first off pit road.
Well, you said somebody might not try it, but I've always noticed there's always somebody that's going to gamble.
There's
We'll just have to-
always
yeah,
one.
we're going to see if it pays off. I mean, I'm not sure. We associate a lot with it being slick out here, but then again, it could be turning tight. And obviously, and I know there, Jeff, with 2 tires, I can loosen a car up pretty good if a car's being kind of tight going into the turns.
You're right. I'm interested to see how this car responds. Let's see if Chad Coleman in that 20 car on those 2 tires just gets run over and left in the dust, or if he's able to hold his own, because I think it'll only take probably about 2 or 3 laps for the tires to even out, and he'll be pretty much feeling the same thing as everyone else. And we'll have to see how that works out after just only a couple laps, if he can hold his own with those 2 tires.
Well, Chad Coleman, he definitely knows how to get around this track, but Anthony DeBarro and company, and I've said it before, usually when you make a gamble like that, you like a couple cars behind you to do the same. Problem is, everybody behind him took 4.
You're right. If I'm looking in my rearview mirror, I'm thinking, okay, everyone else is on 4. He controls the restart, though, and that's a big advantage. He could be able to pull away from Anthony DeBarro a little bit if he gets this restart right.
Well, we're running a caution here. Like I said, tonight the standings look this way. EJ O'Rourke came into this one pretty much locking up the championship. But it's going to be Tommy Ryan and Anthony DeBarro, Chad Coleman and company up there. And again, remember I just said Chad Coleman's coming in 4th. He could leapfrog all the way to 2nd. So maybe he's got nothing to lose here. That's probably why we're seeing him take a gamble. And I think about it that way, that get those bonus points for leading, get out there leading laps and stuff. Maybe that's the MO here.
Maybe so. Every point counts. If Carl Edwards or Tony Stewart, I think it was those 2, had just 1 more point, it wouldn't have gone to a tiebreaker a couple of years ago. So every single point counts for any position. It could be the difference between finishing top 5 or not finishing top 5 in the point standings. That's what you want. It's all about the pride at this point. These guys might be racing for money, but even more important than that, they are racing for prestige, and that's what they want, is bragging rights going into next season. Chad Coleman making every point count. Takes 2 tires after only 7 laps here at Atlanta. We are on lap 12 of 100. A short sprint compared to the usual 150 to 200 laps here that we're used to seeing with the Sim500 League. But a short little sprint here at Atlanta Motorspeedway. It eats up tires for breakfast. I'm interested to see how these right sides, taking right sides only, plays out for Chad Coleman as we get ready to take the green flag. We're rolling down the backstretch.
Absolutely, and I tell you, it's been a good one, like you just said. I mean, all 14 of these races, actually 13 and 14 here tonight, have been outstanding here. It started out at Daytona. We ended in here at Atlanta, and crowning a champion here for the Nemesis Lab. I want to appreciate Nemesis Lab coming on board. If you're looking for anything sim-related, are looking for a sim rig or so forth, check those guys out at Nemesis Lab. They'll definitely get you hooked up. They make some very high-dollar, high-quality styled sim rigs. It's just really, really good stuff that they got. Pace cars out of turn 4. Takes that hard left turn off on pit road. We're back to green flag here at Atlanta. There we go.
Good, not great jump for that 20 car. He gets clear of the 27, but that will allow him to allow the 27 to fall in line right behind him. What Chad Coleman was hoping for was a side-by-side battle for second. Anthony DeBarro, you can see he's just quicker on those 4 tires. Chad Coleman just doesn't have the power these other guys have, the grip these other guys have to carry good exit speed and speed down the straightaway. As a result, he might even get past on the outside here, which is a surprise as they wash up. He's really tight on those 2 tires. 2 of them are warm, 2 of them are cold as ice, and almost gets up into that 27 Anthony DeBarro, who's making the outside work.
Yeah, right now Anthony is, he's got those 4 tires. He can definitely utilize that right now, but Chad Cole holding his own down low for the moment. He definitely would love to at least lead a lap. He didn't even get to lead that lap. I know well, I actually led laps before that on caution, but look at that. Anthony has to give it up because here's the thing, Jeff. The more he stays on that outside, the more he's eating his tires up.
You're exactly right, and it doesn't take long, like we mentioned before, for those tires to even out. We could see this work out really, really well for Chad Coleman if he can hold that lead for another lap or 2, I'd say. That would be my guess as we see the 17, caution. The caution's out.
Not sure who it's on yet. Oh, yeah, here we go. There's a big one in the back, too. Got Simley here involved in this one. Let's go back here and see because it is a big one as cars are everywhere. Oh, it's a pile up. Watch it one more time. Oh, Kevin Brown went around right in front of the field there. Just got doored up into the wall, and from there it's a chain reaction, Jeff. There's just really nothing you can do as a driver. Once something happens like that, it's kind of just boom.
You're exactly right. There's really nothing you can do. Some great wreck avoidance by the 2 car of Mike Kelly. Just stay low, get around the wreck, but man, the big ones happened at Atlanta. We are 16 laps in. Now, they only ran 3 or 4 laps there. Do you come down and pit again? This is a hard choice. You could stay out and get away with it here, I think. We'll see what these leaders do. Chad Coleman comes down by himself. Anthony DeBarro stays out.
Well, I'll tell you what, all right, tell you what, we're in the caution here tonight. Anthony DeBarro, the man out front, Sean Castro there, and it's kind of unique. We're sitting here in a race, and my youngest one here is everybody, obviously dealing with the coronavirus thing. Hope everybody's staying safe, and the schools are closed, and I know, Jeff, you're running through the same thing there with your college and all, but they were doing their online schooling, and it's kind of interesting because my wife just came in, and they were learning about Henry Ford. Me being a Ford guy, obviously, that's an interesting subject on my end. I can't do their math, but I definitely could get up on some conversation on that now.
There you go. The man, he invented mass production, the production line.
Yep.
So a very successful person. And really, one could argue, one of the fathers of auto racing, because we all know auto racing started about 5 minutes after the second car was built. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of little good tidbits in there too, like I said, mass produced there, and also if you go back on the history of the automobile, obviously being racing and so forth. Ford's had a big thing in it. Obviously, GM too has been in there with it. Dodge in the past, and so forth and so on. So, they are some of the forefathers, so to speak. There's a word to use of what we've got to this day and what we got to this time here. With cars in general.
You're absolutely right. One of my favorite car facts, though, is I believe it was Ohio. There were 2 cars in the entire state back in the early days. 2 cars in the entire state, and they actually managed to crash into each other.
Oh, that's interesting. Now they were doing what now? Say that one more time.
Let me fact check this and double check my story here. Hold on.
All right, cool. Well, I'll tell you what, we're still in the caution here at Atlanta. Nemesis Lab here. Final race of the season here for the K&N Series here. As we're going to crown a champ here tonight. Scott Simley, the man out front right now. But like I said, we're just sitting here, chit-chat a little bit about car history. Because obviously, right now with all the real racing and mostly my little sports are down. But and a lot of the schools are out. And my youngest one out here, he was learning about, like I say, Henry Ford. I know a lot of people out there know about the production and the start of the automobile back in the day. He was not the very first to invent an automobile, but he was the first to mass produce them. That was kind of cool, man, in history and so forth.
So I did some fact checking.
Okay.
In 1895, it was the world's first automobile accident. It happened in Ohio City. In what is now known as West Side Cleveland. There were 2 cars in the entire state of Ohio, and they crashed into each other.
Okay. In 1895?
That is correct. In 1895.
1895. First official car crash. Okay, there we go. All right, that's some good tidbits of facts. There we go. That's awesome.
You are exactly right. So that's the first car crash where 2 cars hit each other. The first crash was in 1891, where a guy drove over a tree stump and then hit a hitching post. That was the first crash, but the first 2-car crash was 1895.
So the first 2-car crash was 1895. The first official crash, 1891. Well, that's some awesome tidbits. But I tell you what, we're back green here in Atlanta. So hopefully we get some good history there tonight. As man, right now we're going to make history here at the Nemesis Lab K&N Series. Anthony DeBarro out front. Chad Cole's there in second. EJ's up to third as these guys head off into the turn.
Sean Castle lost a lot of ground there, just couldn't get the momentum rolling on the outside, and so he ended up getting past. Now that is EJ O'Rourke all the way up to third. He's just cruising at this point as everyone is staring at that back bumper. The 21 of Nick Sucks. They're all staring it down, trying to catch the leader, Anthony DeBarro.
Right now, good race out front, and they were reading me off some good tidbits about.
Caution is out.
Caution's out. Like you said, they was reading me off some good tidbits about how fast in the first race car out there too. So that was kind of cool. But caution out. Steve Ritter involved in this one. Let's go back on the replay here and see exactly what happened to Steve on this one. He's out there by himself right now. Oh, actually, it happened in front of him. And then he checked up and then just got hit in the rear. And from there, just slams the inside wall.
Unfortunate to see. This is turning into a few more cautions than we were anticipating. But as we know, cautions do breed cautions typically.
Yes, they do.
So 22 laps in here at Atlanta. We haven't really gotten to see how the tires will react over a long run. We got a good 7-car run towards the beginning. But I'm interested to see how these tires will react over a long run, should we get one.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Obviously, like you say, cautions breed cautions, but what these guys are also noticing is, and we saw that with Anthony DeBarro earlier with Chad Coleman, he tried to make that pass. These guys have got to get all they can get on these new tires. If not, the tire fall off could be so huge and so fast, the 4 tires won't matter after a while.
You're right. It's once these tires even out, then the advantage of taking 4 over taking 2 really goes away. We saw Chad Coleman give it a chance there in the 20 car, and it worked well. He was able to hold the lead. He wasn't really sure what to do after a caution after about 2 or 3 laps. Came down and pitted all by his lonesome, and now he's a little bit further back. He's in 12th. But all in all, not a bad decision to take 2 tires as long as you can run a few laps and hold your own and make sure the tires even out.
Absolutely. I tell Tim out there said he's munching on some peanut butter M&Ms. Him bring none for everybody?
Not opposed to those. Those are pretty good.
Hey, I like the caramel ones. Those are pretty good too.
Those are really good. I can't even argue on that one. But Skittles are very good compared to M&Ms, I must say. But even better than all of those candies is none other than Peeps. And we checked in on our Peeps car. A good little segue there. Our Peeps car. Steve of Aqua is all the way up to 17th. He's got that car cleaned up. He's sitting in 17th right now. Good for him.
That's right. The Peeps car is still out there running. Caught up in a little incident earlier on, but so far looking pretty good. He's got it clean and shiny out there. I will have to say, nice looking car. We always got to check in on the Peeps car week in and week out. I mean, it's almost like, I don't know if you watch on the Monday night series, Jeff. There, Kevin Brown runs a car out there, and it's a Twinkie car. I call it the Twinkie Mobile. I love the paint job because I like Twinkies.
I learned something about Twinkies the other day. They actually have a shelf life of like 3 months. They're not indestructible, as everyone always says.
I guess that takes us back to the movie Zombieland of why he was looking for them. And actually, if you remember in that one, he did say that. He said, unlike some people think, they do have a shelf life. Remember that quote in there?
I've never seen Zombieland.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord. I tell you, you're killing me. Wait a minute. That's okay. We got to give you a pass. You're still young. I understand. And that movie's like over 10 years old. So, there we go.
It's an old one. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Need to check it out, though. They just had a new one come out. But need to check it out. And because all throughout the movie, obviously, it's about zombies. But he is actually in the search for, Woody Harrelson, by the way, in the search for a Twinkie in the whole movie. And he does make that quote that you just said in there. He said that, unlike some people might not think, Twinkies do have a shelf life. And one day the old Twinkie gas meter is going to run out.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
The real question is, left Twix or right Twix?
Both of them.
Both? Okay. That's the best answer you can get. Doesn't matter as long as it's a Twix.
There you go. So, folks, I tell you what, yeah, now that we made everybody hungry out there in the chat in the world, so, hey, we're getting set here to go back green flag, and it's awesome, man. Like I say, we just have a little fun up here. I've always said it. OSRN Network, online simracingnetwork.com, your home for fun and exciting sim racing. You know, we're not NBC, we're not Fox up here. Love to have fun. Yeah, we're going to bring you all this action here tonight. And it has been a good one here at Atlanta to cap off the season here for the Sim500 Nemesis Lab K&N Series. EJ O'Rourke right now, I mean, he's in third. He pretty much is your walk-on champ right here tonight. And is going to walk out of here with the title. But it's kind of to see, but he would love to have the win as pace cars in. Green flag is going to be back in the air.
EJ O'Rourke's strategy is nice and simple this race. Do well by doing nothing. He's just been following along with the guys in front of him, doing nothing different. Caution is back out. He's all the way up to third. He started in fifth. He hasn't even made a single pass under green. He's just chilling and making smart decisions.
And this caution here, I got a feeling is going to probably involve some wheel spin. Let's go and watch. Yes, it does. Looks like, oh, we got a big one on the front stretch. Let's go ahead and see if I can't weed through what might have happened here. Oh, Steve in the Peeps car.
Oh no.
We were just talking about him. Let me see if I can't bring it up here. Folks here. What happened on that was strange to watch. It looks like he didn't get going, and then he got clipped. And then from there, it was just basically a pileup. On the start, to jump on you here. I hate to see that, man. We talk about how starts are. Sometimes, you know, they can be rough.
That's true. It's very, very easy to spin your tires here at Atlanta. Like we said, they wear down so quickly, and it's very easy to just spin those tires around. Actually, taking a look at the track temp, it's only 92 degrees, so I wasn't expecting any wheel spin this early, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility for it to happen.
Got a lot of great cars on that one there, too. So, and we were just talking about the Peeps car. He was out on the track, but unfortunately, Steve there, done. Probably done. He's on pit road. Let's see. Back repair. Atlanta can be a little treacherous, too. I mean, even though we say tire wear's there, this place is definitely can be a little bit. We've seen this all season long here, Jeff. The K&N car, obviously, technical terms here, folks, it's not really the K&N car. On iRacing, we call it. It's the old style cup car. It has a lot of power, not a lot of downforce, on a new tire model that is really just, it's really realistic. You got to let the temperatures build up on it, and before you get a lot of grip out there. It has thrown a lot of these guys off all season long. And we have seen this. Guys get out there, it's not like the old way where you could push the car early. Got to really ease into that thing, and this is just something we've seen. Cautions at the beginning, but then if they get going and get spread out, it's okay. Take it back to, you got to get the heat up in those tires.
You're right, and once you get the heat in those tires, once they cool back down and you cycle them like this, that also makes a big difference in how much wear goes into them. So we are 30 laps into this race. We're averaging about a lap a minute, a little bit under, actually, or a little bit over a minute per lap. So once these guys get a good green flag run going, it's going to be interesting to see how those tires wear out. We are 30% of the way through this race, though, and we have yet to see a long green flag run of more than 7 laps.
There we go. So right now, good run, man, amongst all these guys out here tonight. Like I said, Nemesis Lab K&N Series here. Thing about last race of the season. Gonna crown a champ. EJ O'Rourke, the man right there, owning it right now. What's your take on it so far here, Jeff?
I think everyone was sort of underestimating how much that tire wear would affect these cars with the wheel spin we've seen and with just how many crashes we're seeing, because people aren't really anticipating how tight the car is going to be under these conditions. It's very hard to get a good idea of how the cars will race at Atlanta without going out and doing restarts and, you know, making 5-lap runs and coming in and doing a restart, simulating a restart. It's hard to do that because Atlanta is so unlike any other track. So I think we're seeing a very steep learning curve take effect here as it's sort of trial by fire for these guys as we are coming to, I believe, 1 to green.
Yes, we are getting set here to go green flag racing here tonight in Atlanta. last race of the series. Want to appreciate everybody that's tuned in week and week out here for the Nemesis Lab K&N series. In another couple weeks, though, we're definitely going to be kicking off the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series here at the Sim500. Check out sim500.com for all the racing info there. It's you got a lot of it every day of the week. You definitely got racing, but only a couple of them that are broadcasted. They have the Xfinity Series, obviously the Trans-Service Cup Series on Monday, and then right now the Nemesis Lab one. But then it'll switch over to the the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series on Wednesday. They do have a dirt series that is actually quite fun, and if you're interested in getting involved with the Sim500, check them out. Check out Joey Katina. He's the man that runs the show.
He certainly is the man to find if you want to race in this series. As long as you are a good, clean driver, a smart setup, a smart driver, and you can hold your own, I think you're going to have a lot of fun out here. But these guys are always racing hard. Everyone's very competitive. EJ O'Rourke is probably going to end up being the champion here. It seems like he's running well enough to lock it down. And he gets a good jump on the inside alongside Anthony DeBarro, who also gets a good jump. EJ O'Rourke gets a little bit checked up, though, and allows that 17, Chad Cole, to slide in front. EJ O'Rourke will slide into third with Anthony DeBarro pulling away from the field.
You know, and even getting a podium finish here would be a win-win probably for EJ. He's had some up and down series, but definitely has been very consistent enough to wrap up the title. Right now we've got a car way off on the apron down there, but up to third, like I said, EJ, Anthony DeBarro has been one of the men out front who has 3 wins. He would love to put it in victory lane and make it 4 here for the series. Chad Cole would love to put the thing up there. Brian Macklin won last week. Shane Ewing up there to 5th. I know he's out there waving, and Mom's got to be watching. And Gael Brooks, I tell you, I got to give a shout out there to Gael. Outstanding run for him tonight up there to 6th.
A great run for him. He had some trouble last week. He's reining it in now. Like you said, Shane Ewing, always fun to watch, riding around in 5th place. Brian Macklin, the winner a few weeks back, in 4th. Man, a great group of guys running up here towards the front. We don't always see them run towards the front, and it's awesome to see here at Atlanta. It's a driver's track, and for them to be running up front is a great sign. Another guy we don't talk about too much, David Comstock, Jose Gonzalez, Brian McRae, are all running top 11 right now. Those are things you just love to see. Our pole sitter, Sean Castro, has fallen back 12 spots. He is in 13th. Our biggest mover of the night is Shane Ewing. Our biggest movers, I should say, are Shane Ewing, Gael Brooks, and David Comstock. Shane is up 20 spots, Gael up 22, and David is up 28 spots from where he started.
Absolutely. Right now, a good run back here with Jose and company. And Gael right there going way high. Looks like the car's just a little bit tight for him here. David Comstock up underneath him, trying to look to see if he can't take that move and that position on him as they head off down in the back stretch into turn 3. They'll go door to door. David shoots it into the turn there. I think it's going to stick for him.
Making it stick is important. They are still side by side back there. Thought about 3 wide, thought better of it. The 26, Jose Gonzalez, barely gets clear, and he's going to not try and jump up in front of that 71. But Shane Ewing and Gael Brooks are struggling on the outside. They could be on older tires. That could be how they made up so many spots early around. But Gael is going to jump down behind the 26 of Jose and ride around. You see the 20 car back there on the edge of your screen. That is Chad Coleman. He took 2 tires earlier, gambled a little bit, and working his way back up through the field. He's sitting in 9th.
Well, Shane right there took 2 tires, I saw, and so did Sean Castro took 2 tires at speed. Mark back in traffic usually doesn't pay off too well. To watch. I think it's up front if you can hold on to it. Definitely might be the way to go, but only falling off the pace. We talked about Justin Fuller earlier. He was the one that was on the move, but he's marred back in 11th right now. We'll see if he can pick him off. He would probably, looks like he wants to have maybe a long green flag run here.
If you've taken good care of your tires this whole time, you want a long green flag run. But if you've been pushing them hard on these restarts and through the limited laps that we've run, you definitely want another quick caution right about now. Everyone will come down and take 4. So it's all about taking care of your tires this race. We've been stressing that point earlier. We're 38 laps in, and you need to have good tires under you the whole way.
Well, so far so good. Nose to tail racing all the way through the field. Anthony DeBarro still out front. Chad Cole right there along with him. Let's just get an idea. Come on, bring it up. The last lap times are here. Everybody, we talked about this too. Hard to pass. You can just look at those lap times all the way for the top. I'm gonna say all the way back to about 15th, about 18th, 19th position. Not even a second separating lap time wise. So that tells you right there, somebody trying to come through the field is gonna be hard pressed.
Sounds like we had a wreck a little bit further back in the field that didn't bring out a caution near Brian Wertman in the 39, Tommy Ryan in the 99. That 39 is struggling a little bit. He caught the apron and got sideways, so that's definitely not an easy position to be in. He's actually down 10 spots from where he started, and he is sitting right between Tommy Ryan and Jeff Ryan alongside Randy Yoakum. Those are two guys we usually see up near the front that are struggling a bit tonight here at Atlanta.
Yeah, and Jay Graves Jr. was involved in it there. He just hit the wall and his hood goes flying up on an AC. But, yeah, like you just said, definitely wrecking the back. Those two just kind of got off. Looks like Mark kind of blinked a little bit. Obviously, you saw that right there. And folks are on a virtual world here at iRacing.com. I say it's the realest thing without spending millions of dollars to go real racing. It's been a whirlwind, so to speak, for iRacing this past week with the, a lot of the big pro races there going on and being televised and so forth, which I kind of got mixed feelings over it. Sure, I'm happy for iRacing in a whole, but I'm happy for iRacing every day of the week because, well, I say it like this, is it took them with pros or real racers, finally everybody get excited. To me, we have great leagues like Sim500 that run every day of the week. So I'm always excited for iRacing.
You're right. iRacing has a very, very strong group of fans behind it, has a very strong base that's constantly contributing. Nobody really complains and says, oh, they charge us too much money, we don't get enough for what we pay for, things like that. iRacing and esports is an expensive hobby, there's no doubt about that, but iRacing makes sure that you get what you pay for. The quality of their service is second to none. And so for other people to see that now is a fantastic thing, I think, but they've always had a very, very strong fan base and have always made sure to cater to those fans and make sure they know they're appreciated. But like you said, very good leagues that are going on every day of the week. And that Pro Invitational, there were a lot of wrecks in it, but once it started to clean itself up there, it was some great racing to see on TV, and I was excited to watch that.
Yeah, I did not get to watch any of it, like I say, but to get associated with a lot of great leagues and so forth and so on. As caution is out this time, like Don Runkle Jr., unfortunately, involved with this one. Let's see what happened to him. The car ray, he just got stuck on the wall and then just destroyed the front end of the car.
Yeah, that just happens sometimes here, unfortunately, with these cars. When you hit the wall, it just gets stuck to it, like it's glued there. You can't even get off. It's very, very difficult to do, and he got a little bit of help there from the car behind who didn't have anywhere to go. Once you do get off the wall, it shoots across the track, so an unfortunate situation. So some heavy damage for Don Runkle Jr. I don't think it's unrepairable, but we are 45 laps into this race now, and we have another caution. I think this is the perfect time to come down, get 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and get back out on track.
Absolutely, and everybody does come on pit road here, so we'll see how many of them take. We see any more of the Gamble 2 tires. We've seen a couple of them earlier on try it. I'm like you, though. I think the 4-tire stop is probably better to do.
Right, it's just been so long out there on these tires. They probably haven't pitted on from them in about 30, 35 laps or so. Granted, a lot of those were run under caution, but there were enough under green that you need to take 4. Anthony DeBarro is going to be your leader off pit road with Chad Cole not far behind, so he will retain the lead and stay out front. Chad Cole stays in second. Good, smart 4 tires for everyone out there. That's what I would go with. It's taking 2 at this point. You're asking just way too much of those left side tires.
I only seen one person really benefit. That was Chad Coleman, and then the caution came out and kind of wiped out away from him there. But we did see him hold off Anthony for a moment. Might be something if there's only a few laps left. Got there's some flashbacks to Charlotte, story of my life. Yeah, this track here, and I could be wrong. Jeff can correct me if I'm right. Kind of mimics a little bit of Charlotte. They're close. I mean, they're cookie cutter tracks is what they call them. I never really followed much on that term, but basically what it means is they're kind of built the same. They're 1.5 mile tracks. You know, Atlanta is one of the older style tracks here. It's been around for a long, long time, along with Charlotte. So they have been around for a while.
You're right. I think that's a very fair comparison. These tracks, really, you run them the same, where you're diving it down to the bottom and getting strong runs off the corner to carry as much speed down the straightaways as you can. And that sounds like every track when you say it, but when you're actually running these tracks, you are really attacking the corners hard. Really, the only difference between the two tracks is that Atlanta eats tires a little bit more than Charlotte.
There you go. As we're getting set to go back green. And you're right. I mean, even though they might be what they call them like cookie cutter style tracks, sometimes there's little quirks to them that they all drive a little bit different. Like I said, Charlotte, most notably, I know turn 4 can get very, very tight coming off that turn if you don't watch it. Well, here, you actually can get kind of loose coming off turn 4. So even though there is some similarities there, a lot of these tracks still drive definitely different. But he's referring to out there is the cautions. And again, I take that back to, I think these guys understand the tire falls off so much. The lap times are so close. Nobody's coming through the field. If you're back, I'm going to say even 10th place or further, trying to come to the front is going to be a daunting chore unless you do it very early and just have some help. You didn't get hit with a snowball again, did you?
Oh my gosh. I was holding down the wrong button. I was talking away and I was holding down the wrong button. My goodness. Well,
education at work there, huh?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Well, I was talking about from 34th to 4th, Jose Gonzalez had a good run up through the field in that red, white, and blue Trump 2020 car. He has gained 30 positions, and that caution helped him a ton. Come down, get 4 fresh tires. He's on the same cycle as everyone else, but gained 30 spots in the process.
Absolutely. As we're getting set to go back green, pace cars out of turn 4, going to duck off on pit road. See out front. Anthony DeBarro has been the man there all night long. Chad Cole's been there with him. I call him the Iceman here in the league. But EJ's been there too, and EJ gets a better jump this time. These cautions seem like they're benefiting him. You know, lap after lap, making up at least maybe 1 or 2 positions, and right now he's looking for second, and he got it.
You're absolutely right. He got the better jump that time than Chad Cole, and he was able to get to his inside and work his way around. And he could have something to say to Anthony DeBarro here, who's led most of the race, but he gets a little bit tight, and he's going to wash up the track, has to lift off the turn to avoid getting into the wall. He's going to lose a lot of ground.
Oh, and he's in the wall.
Oh, he did end up catching the wall there. EJ O'Rourke losing spots like crazy. Good thing he already has that championship on lock as he cuts down in front of that 16 to avoid going 3 wide, playing a little bit of defensive aggression, if that makes much sense, but to avoid going 3 wide, he blocked down to the bottom there in front of the 16. Jose Gonzalez gets dropped back that far as well. Chad Cole now back in second, half a second away from the leader, Anthony DeBarro.
And just like that, you can see what kind of trouble these guys can get into. He had a handful trying to keep that car straight, but it did drop him all the way back to 12th place, so let's kind of regroup here. But back up front there, Anthony DeBarro's out front, Chad Cole and Brian Macklin. I will say, as far as winners goes, it has been all Brian Macklin and all Anthony DeBarro, taking up the most wins. Both of those guys have 3 wins this series. So they, as far as winners goes, regular series, there you go. But again, EJ O'Rourke, just consistency, and that's old style points racing right there. Back in the day, it's all about the consistency part. We're consistent, definitely could pull it off.
You're right. It's not the most wins that wins the championship. It's the most consistent driver over the course of the entire season, which is EJ O'Rourke. We always see him top 10, top 5. Always does a great job keeping that car in one piece, as we see here tonight, where even when he catches the wall, he's still running 12 as the caution comes out.
Caution is out. Let's see what happened here. Sure on yeah. Caution was. See what happened on the track?
I did not. I don't quite know where that caution was.
Well, we'll say that Jeff threw a can on Speedway.
Yeah, I believe Sean Casto in that 52 actually threw his water bottle out the window, yeah.
Wayne Vincent there when it popped up. That's what happened here. Actually popped up that he crashed, but that ain't due to the caution. Oh, he just, Dwayne for some reason pulls off the track and parks it out of the race. I'm not sure on the caution there, folks, but we'll just say kind of one of those debris on the track, virtual-wise. It was Tim out there in the chat. He threw one of his M&Ms on the Speedway.
EJ O'Rourke all the way up to 9th now after that caution. Going to come in, get some of that damage repaired a little bit, not too much at all there. That car remains in good shape. We see Chad Cole pulling away, but drop the left sides. Brian Macklin spins the tires quite a bit. EJ O'Rourke is going to sit and get that damage fixed, make sure that car is in perfect shape. He's got the championship locked down. Might as well be safe than sorry.
You're right. Well, we'll see what happens here. Like you just said, Sean Castro out front. Shows he took. Well, you know what? Wait a minute. I think they actually missed their pit stop. I don't even think they pitted.
That is correct. They never hit pit road. That's a bold strategy on a track that eats tires like this one. We see the 52 indicates he's going to come down pit road. Says, nah, I don't really feel like it. Decides to stay out on track. Maybe he was coming in too hot, but it really looks like he just decided to stay out on these old tires. I'll be interested to see what happens because he's going to be well off the pace.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here. I mean, like I said, these guys definitely... I mean, Sean Castro out front, Nick Silver. Now, Sean does have Nick right there with him. Might be okay to see.
Maybe he was taking good care of his tires. We're really not sure, but we'll have to see what happens here. For Sean Castro decides to stay out, not take tires like everyone else. Lap 55 of 100 here at Atlanta.
There we go. And I tell you, it's interesting so far. This race has been, it has been just an up and down whirlwind for a lot of the drivers. Most notably EJ O'Rourke, but luckily for him, back in 26, he almost slammed the wall earlier there, has wrapped up the championship. This right here, though, Anthony DeBarro will be the first time he's been marred in traffic, so we'll see what he can do here back and forth. Sean Castro, Nick Silver up front, though, as we're getting set to go back green flag.
Anthony DeBarro will be starting on the outside in 4th place. We've seen him on the inside every time. Chad Cole, Brian Macklin will have the advantage by starting on the inside, but you see Sean Castro. Oh, he's choosing the outside, letting the 15 of Nick Silver start on the inside. That's awfully strange. We don't expect to see that here at all places because if you're on the inside, when you start, you can actually go through turns 1 and 2 without lifting. So to restart on the outside, I'm wondering what his strategy is. He's playing mind games, and I'm falling for them, it looks like.
No doubt, as we get set to double file them up here to go back green flag. I tell you, the last race here, the K&N, for the Nemesis Lab K&N series, what have you thought so far here, Jeff? I mean, who do you think's going to pull this thing off tonight?
I think it's going to be the first guy to cross the line 101 times, except if there's green, white checkers. The fastest car, for sure, is Anthony DeBarro, but he could get caught up in a wreck. He could mismanage his tires, and it could allow someone else. Brian Macklin, we saw, is fantastic at managing his tires. We saw that, I believe, at Charlotte it was. Maybe it was Darlington, where he came out the victor. He's sitting in 5th place as the green flag comes out. The outside line rolls, the inside line stalls. Anthony DeBarro is side by side with the 15, trying to get clear by the entry to turn 1. He will do it. Barely get down in front of that 15 clean, and now he's got 4 fresh tires compared to the 52's no fresh tires. I think he's going to blow right by him and pull away with the lead here. He's looking to the inside, but the 52's not going to roll over and give it to him. He's going to fight.
Yeah, he would love to lead this lap here coming out of turn 4, and it looks like if he holds his position where he is, he's going to. Anthony just needs to bide his time, be patient, but we've seen this early on before the caution flew. If you can get out front and stay out front for a while, maybe those older tires, if they're not too old, or 2 tires, might work out, because the 4 tires right now, you can see it, does not look like Anthony DeBarro's been able to pull up on him. Now, the longer the run goes, maybe that will change.
Sean Casto is making it work out there as he's pulling away a bit from Anthony DeBarro. Gets a little bit tight, and there goes his lead. Anthony DeBarro drives it to the inside, just too tight on corner exit, overdriving the car to try and stay out front. He had no choice but to drive the car that hard. He's going to fall all the way back to 4th place, it looks like, and try and slip in front of that 2 car, Mike Kelly. Chad Cole is sitting in 3rd, but that 15 car, Nick Silver, up to 2nd place, made a good call. He did not pit and take 4 either.
Yeah, right there, Anthony, that's all he had to do. He just waited and was patient. Actually, Sean just made a mistake coming out of it. Got to give hats off still to Gael. Boy, doing an outstanding job here tonight. He's up to 10th right now. Battling with Tommy Ryan right there. Remember, Tommy came in here 2nd in the points. To bring that back up here and just trying to give you an update on the points. And obviously, E.J. O'Rourke, he's going to come out of here the champ. The 2nd place, Tommy has 162. Let me rephrase. He has 17-14. He's 162 behind the leader. Anthony DeBarro, though, is only 187. So that's 25 points behind. In the way they have the points set up here, and I think Nick Cohen, if you're still out there watching, can help me out on some of this, because I'm not 100% sure on how it is. It's the old style point system. I know it's a lot. But where Tommy is in 9th, Anthony out front, if Anthony wins, he obviously gets a bonus for leading the most laps, if he can lead that, winning, etc., etc. And he's probably going to need those points to leapfrog back to 2nd over Tommy. If Tommy keeps running good, though, I'm not sure what position he needs to stay in to keep a hold of that 2nd place. But right now, top 10, that's a pretty good start.
We see the 52 battling side by side with Brian Macklin. He's actually making those 2 tires work really, really well for himself. I'm sorry, he was battling side by side with Chad Coleman. Brian Macklin had just gotten around. That 20 car is still looking to get to the inside. He's not able to get around that 52. The 26 and the 2 car are battling side by side behind as well. They are 2 wide, 3 deep now.
Yes, they are. Definitely watching good battle going on, like you said, back here in the back for about 6 on the back. They are 2 by 2, side by side. Sean Castro, Chad Coleman, Mike Kelly up there too with Jose Gonzalez, Tommy Ryan, and Gail Brooks in the mix there. We're on a pretty good short stint. Don't want to jinx it. On a pretty good short stint here for a good green flag. But these guys back here still neck and neck, side by side.
You're right. You have the 20, the 26, and the 71 rolling the inside. The 52 the 2 and the 99 rolling the outside. Those guys have been all battling 3 wide, 3 deep for the past 5 laps or so. Nobody's really getting an advantage here, and they are racing very, very hard.
Still door to door. Well, now they get a kind of single file here, but for the moment, Mike Kelly actually having a good run there. He's up to 7th. So good outstanding run for him. There's Jose Gonzalez right there behind him. Sean Castro in the mix. Anthony DeBarro still out front in this one, leading it though.
We see a lot of guys up towards the front here that have made up huge gains to the field, gained at least 15 to 20 spots. Nick Silver started 20th, is up to 4th. Mike Kelly, 26th, up to 7th. Jose Gonzalez, we've been talking about him, from 34th all the way up to 8th. Gael Brooks started 28th, he is in 9th. Tommy Ryan started 39th, did not qualify, did not attempt to qualify, and is currently running 10th in that gaggle of cars we saw earlier. A lot of guys have gained a lot of ground through the field, but those guys especially that we just mentioned, doing really well as they're looking 3 wide, and the 26 thinks better of it.
Yeah, right there, and I just tell you, Sean, just falling off the pace, lap after lap. Mike Kelly right there, looking to go up underneath him and take that spot away. Gael still holding on to 10th. Steve Ritter there on the outside looking in. Still up front, though, and it's all Anthony DeBarro. Nick Silver on the move, though.
That group of cars back there, including Sean Castro. Oh, a car really low on the bottom coming down pit road. But that group of cars back there that was all battling have seemed to straighten out. Tommy Ryan in the 99 car makes a dive down to the bottom of the 52. They are door to door going into turn 1. Looks like Tommy Ryan's going to have the advantage. That 52 is doing a really great job holding the top 10 here, which doesn't sound like much, but on no tires at Atlanta, that's a big accomplishment. He's starting to fall back a little bit further now that he's stuck on the outside. A lot of cars are going to go by him. We see Shane Ewing there in that mix. Shane started in 25th. He's all the way up to 13th, looking to gain a couple more spots here.
Yeah, it is, and it just shows you the tire fall off here between those guys. Definitely huge. Got a good battle going on here, though, with Nick Silver. Now with Mike Kelly and company in front of them. Brian Macklin's under... he's going to try to pull it up there and get back to 3rd over Chad Coleman. A good one so far here, and I tell you what, up front, and it's all Anthony DeBarro, the man out front there. He's looking to make it win number 4 of the season here with Chad Cole right behind him. He's pulling away. They've got a good lead over Brian Macklin, Chad Coleman, Mike Kelly and company there. And what we're starting to see right now is, we got a little bit of packs of guys making passes here and there. Guys that are, good little green flag runs. We're starting to see guys that are
52 comes down pit road. He's pitting for tires now. We saw him struggling earlier.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you what. His fall off was huge. Oh, Macklin almost in the wall coming out of turn 2 right there. He almost scraped it. Got a little wiggly. He's fighting that machine right now. And that's going to leave the door open for the 20, Chad Coleman. So Macklin goes from 3rd, falls all the way back to 5th. Jose Gonzalez kind of speedy out there. He takes over 4th. Jose's looking, he's wanting that third place spot. Look at him right there up underneath Chad Coleman. Ryan Macklin falling back to 5th. Mike Kelly there in 6th. Tommy Ryan up to 7th. Now Tommy, he's looking to get closer and closer to try to seal that deal of hanging on to 2nd in the points. Fall asleep there, Jim?
Handling things on this end, getting everything sorted over here. Apologies for that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just making sure, man, you didn't fall asleep.
No, still wide awake. Just handling things over here. So.
Ah, that's cool, man. Good deal. Well, I tell you what, man, good one so far is pit stops. Wow, this is the first green flag pit stops we have seen tonight. That kind of tells us right there. I think this would be if it does go green the entire way, they definitely make it.
You're right. We could be seeing the last stops here of the race on lap 77. Only 23 laps to go of a 100-lap race. Oh, Anthony DeBarro is coming down pit road.
All right, Tim, man. You have a good one there. Appreciate you tuning in.
Jose Gonzalez is going to inherit the lead. We know they need to make one more stop. At this point, come down, take 4 tires, take as much fuel as you can pack into it. While you're getting those tires on, refill the tank, get back out there and finish off this race. 23 laps to go at the line.
That's right, and you know, once they make that pit stop, and Jose probably at this point, I mean, he does have a pretty good substantial lead. He could stay out there. Well, never mind, he's coming in pit road now. That's what we can say. Probably, banking on the caution, but he's going to drop it off on pit road early
There's
on.
the caution right there.
There's the caution, and if you know what? He got on pit road before the caution. He'll be allowed to make that pit stop. And we got a car coming down pit road backwards. The only time we've ever seen that is we'll reference it back to a movie a long time ago. That happened.
We saw Brad Keselowski at I believe it was the Daytona 500. No, it was the Clash.
And Chad Cole, are you kidding? Chad Cole involved in that wreck.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, just a victim there. He was coming around the corner and actually happened right in front of him. It looks like the car was just going to woe down and go in there. And Chad Cole know where to go. Remember, Chad was running in 2nd place before all this stuff. Wow. That right there, a huge one for Chad.
That's a huge implication for him. That's going to make it difficult to win this race. About 20 laps to go, give or take now. And the 12 car is coming back on track. A few years backwards there.
There's kind of 2 different incidents on. Oh, man. Kind of strange here.
Mayhem.
Yeah, because there was another one on the back stretch here. One car actually spun, got slowed up, went to slow up, and then got hit in the rear. Back up the track, and then, Brian Wortman. I think that's who that is right there. Brian. Nope, not Brian Wortman. Cody LaBar. Folks, watch this from the hood view right here. Oh, he destroyed that car.
Huge wreck, huge implications for the winner here of this race. Anthony DeBarro is all the way back to 11th. He should be able to cycle around and be okay. But, man, a very, very unfortunately timed event. Really caught up some of the big runners in this race. And now, with only 20 laps to go, the whole field now has a chance to win this race.
A wild one here. Like I say, that was 2 different incidents on the track. And, one of them there involving, obviously, Chad Cole up front. Hate to see that, but wow. Now, Anthony DeBarro actually going to come back up in the 2nd, so he didn't be too bad right now. A lot of cars in front of him there that might take the wave around.
That 17 of Chad Cole currently has the hood up. I don't think you can see anything. If we can get an in-car view of him, that's what I'm looking for to try and find.
Cole, Chad Cole. Yep, there we go. We got a shot of him right there. His hood's flying up. That's the DeWalt machine. They need to get some drills out there and cut that thing off. Get them a DeWalt drill machine. And how do you see anything, man, driving the cockpit view? I mean, he can see out the side view mirror there, I guess, but wow. That gives new meaning to hood flapping in the wind.
You are right. He can sort of just see the left side there, and he's gauging where he is based on that 38 car. He'll try and duck it down pit road here.
Slam on brakes and the hood will shut.
Not. Maybe not.
Well, you know, slam on brakes and let the hood slam down.
That's one way to do it. I think he's going to take the wave around here and then worry about that problem later.
That's crazy. That is funny. That's yep, going to take the wave around and then probably drop off on pit road. Why not? I mean, that's a smart move to do right there. It's getting set to go back. Green flag. It's a wild one here. About 18 laps to go, and I know EJ's probably, he's back up to 11th, but he's probably going, can we hurry up me in this thing? I want to get my milk and cookies here, man, so I can say I'm the champ.
You are right. Jose Gonzalez, though, 34th, all the way up to first. That red, white, and blue Trump 2020 car is now on the point. He is cycled around to be the leader. Very, very lucky that caution came out when it did for him. He's going to go out there and try and hold off the 27. He's been the fastest all night. He's got 19 laps, 18 at the line to do it. 18 more times around Atlanta Motor Speedway to try and hold off that 27 and come home with the victory here.
Gonna be a good one here. So we're getting set to go green flag. Back at it again here at Atlanta. Final race here of the Nemesis Lab K&N Series. It has been a good one here. Pace cars out of turn 4. Jose Gonzalez, the speedy man up front. He gets a good jump as the green flag flies.
He gets a very good jump, but Anthony DeBarro does as well. He's going to slide in right behind. And third place, Chad Coleman and the number 12 are battling side by side as the 12 car of Scott Simley. We saw him caught up in a wreck earlier. He's now rebounded all the way up. Jose Gonzalez is going to block low. Anthony DeBarro is going to go high, and then Jose Gonzalez is just going to run his line. What he needs to do is not get intimidated, and he slides up the track. Jose Gonzalez does, gives a run to the inside to Anthony DeBarro in that 27 car, and he is going to whip right around and clear going into turn 1. Not quite. Now he's clear as the 26 car will fall in behind. He's a hard man to beat, Anthony DeBarro, in that 27 car. He is fast here at Atlanta.
Yeah, and what you saw right there was Jose try to protect that inside and just drove it in too hard, and that car just got very tight and when it washed up the track. Left the door wide open for Anthony. We've seen it all race long. He's just been that patient back there to hang on to it. But some good racing throughout the field here. Anthony Calatoni had a good qualifying effort. He's back up to 7th here right now. And Robert Gillenwater, good run for him too.
Robert Gillenwater started 9th. He is all the way up to 5th place right now, half a second back. You have a long single file line here. These guys out front. It's hard to make passes once that happens. Another guy having a great run, like we mentioned earlier, Scott Simley, 19th all the way up to 4th. Shane Ewing back up near the top 5. We saw him there earlier. He fell back. Now all the way back up to 6th. David Comstock started 36th all the way up to 7th right now. Anthony Calantoni, EJ O'Rourke, and Justin Fuller are going to round out your top 10.
Yeah, Justin Fuller back up there doing good. Mark Arthur on the outside looking in there as Anthony's caught up high. Donnie Lee. Now, that name sounds familiar because I've seen him in the past. Donnie, if my memory serves me correctly, and I could be wrong on some of it, actually races, but he is actually, I believe, kin to one of the racers out there a great pass. But I believe he actually really does race in some form or the other. Not 100% sure, can't remember, but Donnie Leah actually having a good run here. He's up to 12th right now.
Started 17th, he's all the way up to 12th. Behind him, Randy Yoakum, 41st. He started all the way up to 13th, did not qualify. Patrick Colby started 40th, didn't qualify, all the way up to 15th. Richard Beasley started 38th as Anthony DeBarro almost goes around, somehow saves it off the front end of Jose Gonzalez. That was some hard side-by-side racing. I imagine there's going to be some words in chat about it, but I mean, that 26, he barely touched the 27. The 27 really pinched him down there, it looks like. Two guys racing side-by-side hard for the lead, and now Jose Gonzalez is in first, and he has to hold off Chad Coleman.
Yeah, right now, good run, like you just said, throughout this field as Chad Coleman up front there looking good as, Justin Fuller crashing. No caution, but go back on it and see what actually happened to Justin Fuller. Oh, he just got turned and slams the inside wall. And able to keep that thing going straight, but wow, Justin Fuller, ouch. Got a little help. And the man's been dominating most of the night. Anthony DeBarro marred back in 7th. We said it earlier there, Jeff. Not going to see anybody come through the field, and even as dominant he is, he's not coming through the field. I mean, he's just marred back. And look at that EJ right now. Said, you know, Anthony, you've dominated races, but move out the way. The champ's coming through. Good race so far. Mark Arthur right here. Anthony Calatoni was out the top 10. Good racing throughout the field in this one here. Hope everybody's appreciating it and enjoying it so far. Like what see, hit a like, hit a share out there. And the guys appreciate it here at Sim500. Good race through and through. I'm enjoying it right now, though.
I'm enjoying it as well. I really enjoy when I press the right button here. If there's a time where I'm not talking, I have two buttons that are side by side, and I keep thinking I'm hitting the right one when I'm not, so apologies for that. I don't know how many times it's happened tonight, but I was talking there. Chad Coleman seems to be stuck in this bubble behind Jose Gonzalez. He's sitting about 2/10 back. Can't really get much closer, but he's not falling back either. Just really stuck there as we have 8 laps to go here at Atlanta. The last thing Jose Gonzalez wants is a caution because he's starting to pull away little by little from Chad Coleman and the rest of the field.
Oh, absolutely. He wants to get to that white flag, and can Jose pull this thing off here tonight and win it here? I mean, you know, what a roundabout and a way to round off the season for old Jose there. Look here and see what it is in points right now. Big Gonzalez. See him on the points list here. There he is, back at 57th.
Huh.
Now, you know it only says he's had 2 starts in the series. What a way to do that. This would probably be start number 3 and have a win if he could pull it off here tonight. Wow.
Certainly would be a great third race to have here. That car, that 26 car, is running out front, pulling away a little bit from Chad Coleman. We saw him catch the apron a tiny bit, but he just needs 5.5 more laps here out front under green to keep, to win this race, excuse me. And in only his 3rd start in a league as competitive as this one, that's impressive.
Yeah, so far so good. As Jose's out front, he's got a good lead right now to hold him off as we're getting about 4 to go in this one.
Chad Coleman is starting to pull in a little bit here on the back bumper of Jose Gonzalez, but we know, we talk about it every week. Just because you're fast enough to catch someone doesn't mean you're fast enough to get around them. Those are 2 different things. So if we see them battling side by side, the advantage will go to the person that's holding the inside, as the 26 Gets real close to that wall there on entry to turn 1. He's driving the wheels off of that thing to get every little bit of speed he can out of it and not let Chad Coleman catch him. The worst thing he can do here is overdrive the car.
Caution!
Or even worse than that is a caution.
Oh, wow. Well, that's going to change it up here for everybody. Robert Gillenwater was the one involved in this one. He had a little help, though. Got tagged in the rear, slams the wall. Ouch. Hard impact on that one.
He was having a good run there, that 4 car was, and now he's falling back further and further through the field. He was running top 10 at the time where that happened.
All right, Jeff. What do? Do you pit?
I think you have to. I think you have to come down and pit, take 4 tires, and go from there.
Oh, it's a gamble because I don't know. I'm if the leader's pits and you're sitting back, let's say 10th on back, would you take a gamble to stay out?
With how rough this track is on tires and how terrible the restart would be, you know, how much you would have to baby the car using the throttle. Oh, everyone stays out. Oh my goodness, that is not what I expected at all, but man, that 20 car Chad Coleman made his move to duck back out a little bit too early. The 26 saw it, and he jumped back to the outside. Man, these guys are going to be taking the restart on old tires. Be careful of wheel spin here. It's a very real possibility on 30-lap old tires.
Yeah, and you're right, and I just had to throw that out there. I think it's a smart move, I mean, Jose's part, if everybody behind him does the same thing. If everybody behind you pitted, no, not very smart. But I'm in a green, white, checkered rules here, and we've already seen tonight what the restarts hold. There's 2 scenarios that can happen here, Jeff. Obviously, we go green. If a caution flies, it's over. So Jose's definitely going to be thinking about that. Don't spin the tires. Get out front in front of Chad, and hope Chad has to worry about Scott back there battling with him. 2, make it to the white flag, and then no matter what happens on that end. So I think really Jose, I mean, obviously he would rather run it out, win this thing. But I'm going to say it as in my sense. If I was Jose, I'd probably want the green and then a yellow to come out and be out front, instead of hopefully maybe taking my chances of trying to outrun Chad, because he was running me down prior to this run. Not saying that he can't get around me, but still, hey, I want to win.
That's right. He does want to win, just wants to make sure he is the first guy to cross that line. And like you mentioned, if he gets that caution, then the next flag that comes out will end the race. There's 1 attempt at a green, white, checkered. So he wants to see a caution right away just to avoid the chance of having to battle Chad Coleman. But if he gets a good restart here, doesn't spin the tires, and it's just, you know, has a good, solid restart, he will be fine and should be able to win this race. But we'll see as they are getting ready to go green here pretty soon.
Yes, they are. We're getting set, like you said, green flag racing here tonight. Final time, though, folks. Green, white, checker rules set here to set it up. Can Jose Gonzalez, in his 3rd start of the season, win it here tonight? Or could Chad Coleman pull this thing off? And don't count out Scott Simley or David Comstocker in them, because remember, tire spin could mess this whole thing up.
You're absolutely right. You are never out of the woods with tire spin here in Atlanta. I've experienced times where I've spun the tires on brand new tires, so it's very easy to do here. I don't foresee that happening here, but it's very real that if these guys aren't careful, they could spin the tires, and we could see the 26 shoot right up into the 20 and cause a big wreck right at the front.
So they're going to line them up for the final time here in the final race of the K&N Nemesis Lab Series here for the Sim500 Championship race here tonight. But can Jose Gonzalez pull this thing off? And E.J. O'Rourke back up to 6, so he's battled his way back over. Donnie Leah there sitting in 7th, Anthony Calatoni in 8th, Randy Yoakum 9th, Mark Arthur up there, and they're 9th and 10th, excuse me. Shane Ewing up to 5th, David Comstock 4th, Scott Simley 3rd, Chad Coleman second, Jose out front. Gets set to go green here. This is going to be interesting.
Getting ready to come back green. The pace car's about to duck off. It's all about this restart here. This is what will win or lose the race for Jose Gonzalez or Chad Coleman. These guys are tightening up. You see E.J. O'Rourke back there in 6th. Shane Ewing having a good run. He's all the way back up to 5th. Scott Simley in 4th place having a great run. That 26 car on the inside doesn't spin the tires. Gets a good restart. He clears the 20. He just has to hold the bottom, play defensive here, and not let that 20 get to his inside, and he'll win this race.
Yeah, he does. Like you just said, green flag out as Jose got a good jump. What he wanted, he's got about a car length lead there over Chad Coleman. One more time, he'll take the white flag if they make it around this time by. And this is what he wants to see. David Comstock driving it in hard, battling with Chad Coleman. David Comstock, though, can he run down Jose as they come out of turn 4 to take the white flag?
It's possible. I've seen crazier things happen. That 12 car is looking to the inside. Scott Simley thinks better of it. The top 5, the last car there is E.J. O'Rourke. Shane Ewing bobbled it a bit. He's all the way back to 7th now. But David Comstock has just one more set of turns to get to the 26 car. He's about a car length back. He's going to have to really make something happen here. And he's going to try the outside. It's just not going to work. Not enough there. Maybe another lap and he would have had it. But Jose Gonzalez in that 26 car, his 3rd start in the Sim500 series, takes the race, and E.J. O'Rourke is going to come home your champion.
Wow, I tell you what a race. EJ's going to come home here in 5th here tonight. What a way to finish this thing off here, guys. That was an awesome, awesome showing by all these drivers here tonight. Wow. Really enjoyed it there. Jose Gonzalez winning it here tonight, though. Good finish. Good finish here to the season. That man, EJ, man, wow.
Oh, Anthony DeBarro showing his displeasure, absolutely driving through Jose Gonzalez. That was just a racing deal where they came into contact with each other earlier, as you might recall. But Anthony DeBarro clearly showing his displeasure by driving full speed into the 26.
Well, you know, frustration sometimes, they
happen.
Over. Yeah, it does. It bulls over. You know, we even sit on the virtual world there. But hey, Jose, I mean, I've always said it. You gotta win how you can win.
You're exactly right, and well, I gotta say, shout out to Jose Gonzalez there after getting hit by Anthony DeBarro, showing how displeased he was. Got knocked around, did a couple spins out of control, threw the car down into 1st gear, and continued doing donuts right after getting hit. So that's quite the way to do it. And now they're all just crashing into each other to cap off this series. A great final race at Atlanta Motorspeedway. 103 laps later, Jose Gonzalez comes out the winner.
Yeah, he does. I'll tell you what, we're bringing up some of these guys up here to get a word with him here. Let's bring up 3rd place man here, Chad Cole. Let's get a word with him. What a race he had.
Chad Coleman, it's Jeff up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
I don't want to interrupt your wreck fest down there on track, but absolutely fantastic racing there. You did a great job. You took 2 tires earlier. How did the car respond after 7 laps under green? How did your car respond to 2 tires?
It wasn't real bad, but it didn't seem to have any mid-corner speed, so I pitted, and I figured there'd be a couple more go with me, and nobody went with me, so we restarted in the back, and I felt stupid after that.
That was going to be my next question. What was the theory there behind that pit stop? You've explained it now. You had a fantastic run there. You started near the front. You finished near the front. Gained 5 spots over the course of the night. Who do you have to thank for such a great run?
Just thank everybody that puts this deal on over here with Sim500, Joey and all the guys, and Nick Silver for admitting this deal. We're ready to jump into the trucks, and you guys for broadcasting, and congratulations to EJ on a points championship.
Well, fantastic run, a fantastic season. We saw you up towards the front, towards the end of it. You definitely improved over the course of time. That's something we love to see up here. Congratulations on a great run tonight, a great season, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the next season.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.
There you go, Chad Cole, coming home here in third. Bring up this man right now, David Comstock, who brought it home in second.
David Comstock, up in the booth. You got a copy? David, can you hear us? It's Jeff up in the booth.
Hey, how's it going?
There we go. Now we got you here. Well, 36th to second. First off, I want to ask, why didn't you qualify for this race? Was that intentional, or did you just miss it?
It was intentional. I wasn't in points, so I just wanted to run some laps and build some racecraft and learn some of these guys. I haven't raced before, how they race, and get familiar more as I come up through the series. So just refining on, learning on this tire as well, this new tire model that we all got. So it was something I chose to do, to start in the back.
Well, it played out well for you. You started 36th, you finished second. You were only 86 thousandths of a second away from winning this race. Do you think if you had another lap, you would have won it?
Maybe. Also, if I didn't spin out coming out of my pit box, one of those pit stops, we had green flag run, and I was just on the gas, just eager because I had a good pit stop and was trying to get up to speed, and stayed in it too long and spun it out. So had to then drive from the back again, pretty much. So I had to do it twice halfway there through the race. So shows we have good speed, caught some good luck as far as when some guys were pitting. It trapped them a lap down, and I was planning on pitting with 20 to go, but the yellow come out about 3 laps before that. So that scrapped that, and just good luck and good fortune to be able to get back to the front and have a shot at it.
You did a fantastic job. Who do you have to thank for getting you up here?
I would like to thank everybody at Team Name, all those guys we work with every single week. Fun racing with those guys. Congrats to EJ on winning the championship there. I know he's super ecstatic on that, so happy for him. Good friend of mine. So good to see him get that. Appreciate Sim500 and the admins for sponsoring and running our leagues, and Nemesis Lab for sponsoring our series here on Wednesday nights. And appreciate you guys for broadcasting, and I can't wait until we get to hope you guys are here around for the truck series we're going to start up here in a couple weeks. So can't wait to roll on to that, and sponsoring the car, Monster Energy and RacingBiz.com. If you go to Facebook, we got live auctions of like authentic racing and sports memorabilia, autograph, authentic stuff on there. So check them out on Facebook as well as online at RacingBiz.com, and everybody out there watching, appreciate it.
Well, congratulations on such a great run tonight. You did a fantastic job all throughout the season. Great job. We're excited for that Truck Series race, and hopefully we see you up here in the top 3 again in this next upcoming season.
Yep, thanks.
Yo, David Comstock coming up here, looking very, very good here tonight. Well, this guy put it in victory lane. Jeff, I'll tell you what, I'll let you get a talk in with old Jose, because 3rd race, but he puts it in victory lane and wins it. I know he's got to be ecstatic.
Jose, 3 races in, and you managed to come home a winner. How did you manage to pull that off? That's what I want to know first and foremost.
I don't know, man. I'm usually the kind of guy that saves tires and hope to get a long run, and this time I just went for speed. I just went for it all. I didn't leave any of that tire for grabs. I just went all out since every restart. So since the beginning, I think I started about 30 seconds or something like that, and I just started passing people, and I'd say, okay, maybe we can get some speed, and then I got together there with the Barrow. I think I saw the replay, and I guess he was pinching and came down a little bit, so I don't have to feel bad about that. I'm just happy for the win.
I was going to ask that next. What were your thoughts on that incident with Anthony DeBarro? But yeah, it was just very close racing. You're racing for the win there. Who do you have to thank for getting you here to victory lane in only your 3rd start?
Yeah, I'm gonna thank Ford Entertainment Group. They sponsor me for Monday nights, and Sim500, and you guys. We really enjoy your broadcast as always, and it's a pleasure to watch all the broadcasts after the race.
Well, it's much appreciated. Thank you. Congratulations on that win here tonight. That was an amazing run all through the night. Great job.
Thank you very much, man. Hi, Joe.
Well, I tell you what, Jose called him Speedy, man. Put it in victory lane tonight. It was awesome to see him do that. Yeah, my hat's off to him there. I mean, that is surreal to see. Third start, victory tonight. But well, we got to bring this guy up here because I know he's ecstatic. EJ O'Rourke, Joe White, the booth, get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Well, you came in the race knowing that pretty much had the points title wrapped up. You know, we tried to play it down a little bit, but man, you almost messed up earlier in that race. You got it up into the wall a little bit. How was the car? But you battled back, came home 5th here tonight. What a way to cap this series off, being the champ.
Yeah, the Gary Mercer Trucking Chevrolet was fast. I was trying to make a statement by trying to get up there and pass tomorrow and win the race outright and just kind of put an exclamation mark on the season. But I got a little tight there, and then Mac hung it in me, and I kind of got the fence. But I fixed it and drove fine afterwards.
Well, you know, take us back. I mean, last week or a couple weeks ago, you were actually behind in points behind Anthony. And then obviously Talladega, I've always said that's kind of one of them wild card races. That's when the kind of a turning point took place after that point. Take us back then. What was going through your mind? What you had to do to be in this position here tonight to win the title?
Yeah, I knew Talladega was going to be a huge turning point, and I knew if I could beat him there by, at least a good margin, I'd have a chance at it. And, all race, we're kind of right there. But a couple laps ago, they ended up wrecking, and he finished back like in 30th, and I came home 7th. So that was a huge point swing at that point, and I knew I kind of had control at that point, and just had to try to keep finishing, 3rd, 5th, top 10 somewhere to kind of maintain it.
No doubt about it. I tell you pulled it off here. So I know you're past champ in the truck series.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember that. And so what's your feelings about the Kick-Ass Beat Jersey truck series coming up here too? And by the way, if you don't have a sponsor, I can always put my name on the side of your truck.
Well, we're lucky to Glenn Campbell and Trans Service said they'll sponsor me for that, so that's pretty cool. But
thanks, man.
But you too. I'll throw your logo on there too if you want. But I do appreciate you guys broadcasting the OSRN network and doing these iRacing Sim500 races, and it's always a good time to go back and watch, especially when you do good.
Well, yeah, no doubt about it. Like you said, it was good to see because I know you struggled beginning of the year finding some sponsors, and I always love that they rag on you. I love watching all those posts about EJ wrecking and all that stuff. But hey, now you can say that not only are you a master at causing wrecks, but hashtag you're the master champion now of the Sim500. Two-time, that's right, of the Sim500 Nemesis Lab Canyon Series. The champ here for the season, EJ O'Rourke. Man, you got anybody you want to thank for it?
I got to thank, Sim500 and you guys, OSRN, for making this all possible. And this Gary Mercer Trucking Chevrolet was fast. I also got to thank Papa's Hardware, Trans Service, Tibbs Quarter Motorsports, and they've always supported me, and WSI Parts too, and all them guys. It's cool to kind of cap it off. And we had a really good season, and we won by I think 200 points, so that's pretty impressive. And it's really a whole entire race for everybody else.
Absolutely, and it's been a great season for you, like you said, capping it off with the championship. We're heading into the truck series. Man, again, EJ, congratulations on that championship here in the K&N series.
I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you very much.
There we go. Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, man, what a way to cap this series off and the season. It has been awesome. I tell you what, we head off in 2 weeks, though, from tonight, the kickoff in Daytona, the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series here for the Sim500. It's going to be an awesome series there. Tune in, folks, man. But, Jeff, got any final words for this one?
Well, it was a fantastic race tonight. After we got through all the cautions, the first 30 laps or so was a lot of cautions, a lot of guys figuring out what the car was going to do. From then on, though, everyone was doing a fantastic job keeping control of their car. We saw some intense racing for the lead. Everyone wanted a piece of it. But Jose in his third start comes home to where that was absolutely a fantastic race. Really fantastic season. Can't think of a better way to end a season like that. We saw I think the moral of the story that we talked about so often is, with this series, we saw it every week just about. It wasn't the fastest car that won the race, it was the first one across the line. I can't think of any weeks where it was the fastest car that won it, but there was guys that overcame adversity and made sure they were in the right spot at the right time to come home the winner. Overall, a fantastic race, an even better season. It was a real pleasure to watch and announce for, so thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. I tell you what, it was fun, and we're going to leave here. So for the Nemesis Lab K&N Series presented by the Sim500, and that man out there, Jose Gonzalez, putting in the victory lane, and the champ there, EJ O'Rourke. By myself, Jeff, and everybody at Sim500, everyone, have a good night.